So now I'd like to bring up Bringing Trauma-Informed Advocacy to Coatesville with Christine.
Thank you. Public speaking is my thing, but I'm nervous right now. So thank you all for having us. Our project is bringing trauma-informed advocacy to Coatesville. I've also never used one of these clicker things. There we go. So our ask is the bringing trauma-informed advocacy to Coatesville by way of customized trainings to all the nonprofits that are providing services at the Coatesville Center for Community Health, as well as eventually the Health Equity Center, Equity Health Center. Which one is it? Equity Health Center. And so our ask is to grow initial partnerships in this area. I've already had conversations with the agencies that are housed in the Coatesville Center for Community Health, and they are all very, very interested in participating in the training, and that includes MCHC, the Domestic Violence Center of Chester County, the Chester County Department of Health, their WIC program, and Family Service of Chester County. We would then like to form a partnership with the newly established Health Equity Center, Equity Health Center, I got it wrong on the PowerPoint, sorry. And then $10,000 in grant funding for the entire project to execute and grow the trainings in the area. And you'll see on our timeline that our first piece of the timeline is the Coatesville Center for the Coatesville Center for Community Health, because those agencies are already established in that building and we've already made connections with those folks. And then eventually we would move over into the Equity Health Center. The why. Before coming to CVC, I was a staff attorney for 15 years at Legal Aid of Southeastern Pennsylvania. I handled the predominantly family law cases. Most of my clients, all of my clients had to qualify for our services by making less than 125% of federal poverty. That's about 12 grand a year. It was about $3,000 for each additional member in the household. So a family of three, you're talking less than $20,000 in annual household income to be able to qualify for my services. So I know, just based on that fact alone, that there was trauma in their lives. Newsflash, we are not taught trauma-informed advocacy in law school. It's not even talked about. It was not a thing. And so coming to CVC, I began learning about trauma-informed because of the clients that we serve at CVC. We're a 24/7 victim advocacy agency. And it really sparked my passion because I truly believe that I would have been a better attorney and a better legal aid attorney if I had been trauma-informed and if I had embraced best practices for being trauma-informed instead of sticking to what I learned in law school. We partnered with the Chester County ACEs Coalition years ago, and we began presenting trauma-informed advocacy to the Chester County legal community. To my delight, they were always open and wanted the conversations and were willing to change their practices based on what we were talking about, and were eager for new ideas and new things that they could be doing that would make them trauma-informed in dealing with their clients. And we really did focus on the family law clients, the family law attorneys at first, because especially at Legal Aid, when you combine children with folks that we knew were at low income, I mean, nothing is harder, right, than fighting for our children. So that's why we focused initially on the family law attorneys at the Chester County Bar Association. And so we've slowly began bringing this training to anyone who will listen in Chester County because we think that it's so important. I truly believe that providing trauma-informed services leads to better outcomes. I don't think I would have won all my cases. That would have been nice, but that's a dreamland. But I do feel that my clients would have felt more valued, and we would have been creating even better relationships had I used trauma-informed practices in my practice of law. The challenge. How can we increase access to mental and behavioral health services here in the greater Coatesville area, and how do we increase health promoting activities in the greater Coatesville area? We know that folks who undergo trauma can very easily be re-traumatized by the system. And so my goal is to make sure that the service providers are educated on being trauma-informed so there's no re-traumatization taking place as they are accessing all of the services that are available in, okay, not really sure what's going on there. I'll just do a remind me tomorrow, get that off the screen. It's not working. Can I have an extra 30 seconds, please? Okay. Okay, got that off there. So There is such a thing as the system traumatizing folks, and so we want to make sure that the service providers are using best practices and not adding to the problem while they're trying to solve the problems. The why, obviously, I kind of just talked about the gap analysis, and that we know that the systems can re-traumatize folks, and we want to make sure that gap is getting filled by this training. Our solution is trauma-informed advocacy training that's customized to each organization receiving the training. We all serve different demographics, we all serve different clients, we all serve them in different physical settings, and so we want to work with each agency to make sure that once we get to the Trauma 101, we're getting to the Trauma 102 about what should you change about how you provide your services based on this training, not just checking that box that you got Trauma 101 training and woohoo, now I'm trauma informed. There's a lot more to that. They're not the same thing over and over again. And then multiple training modalities. We want to do in-person, virtual, and recorded, so that for those agencies that eventually come to this building, it can become a part of their onboarding process. So it's something that can live on after this project is over. How long? Our projected timeline. As I mentioned, we do have some partners that are already on board, so we could start immediately in this summer with getting them trained, working on their individual programs, and then through in 2024, again, working with the Coatesville Center for Community Health, all the way through the Health Equity Center to inform every agency that's involved. The budget and the request is $10,000. The WHO is myself, our lead trainer, our consultant, the Chester County ACEs Coalition, and our coordinating partner, Catherine Spurlock, who is the executive director at the Coatesville Center for Community Health. And that's my contact information. Thank you all.
Feels nice to take a deep breath.
I'm still nervous though.
Yeah, that was a creative idea. I like the idea of the customized, training for each person or each organization. That's a really neat way to look at it differently.
Thank you.
So I think everybody should be trauma informed, and I would hope that you would consider bringing this program into the schools, because as a mom of 2 teachers in the Coatesville School District, many of the teachers are not trauma informed, and I think the children deserve to have teachers that understand them. So I think this is great.
If you fund it, we will come.
Well, we've been talking about trauma for a very long time. We always have these key words that pop up in our world, especially the nonprofit world, and trauma's one that popped up a long time ago. And I would say it's about time that we brought it fully on board with everyone.
Thank you, Regina.
Hi. Trauma. And I, not like Miss Regina, hadn't heard much of it until the last couple of years. But now I realize that everybody almost has suffered some kind of trauma. So I love your ideal. I definitely would love to see it go into the schools. I like the fact that it's not a cookie cutter, that because it's different for everyone, whether it's diverse. So thank you.
I would reiterate that as the fact that you recognize about it not being a cookie cutter, because to me, cookie cutter systems do not work. There's a wide range. But also, as with the first speaker, that recognizing this comes from your own experience and seeing and looking back the very positive things that came out of your work, but also some things you would like to see change, putting that to going forward. And I appreciate that.